Hey guys, and welcome to today's First Impressions video, the video game series in which we look at a recently released game and I give you my first thoughts and impressions on it. Today we're looking at Collapsed, which is another in a long line of very simple and yet very enjoyable games. There are no options at all, you've just got your volume and sound effects to switch on or off, so we're going to jump straight into the game and I will give you my first thoughts and impressions. Let's not waste any time, let's jump straight into it. So you jump into the game and you have 30, 40, 50 levels in total to play through. So actually quite a bit of content here, which is nice to see. It is done, as these games most often are, with a star rating. You need 1 star to unlock the next level and you need 5 stars to get a perfect. I'm going to jump into the first one just so I can show you how this works. Basically, you have a cannon, and the game gives you a certain amount of balls, and these cannonballs you get different types of and stuff as well. So you've got 3 different ball types that you can use, and a fire button. And it really is as simple as trying to collapse the structure. You've got to basically figure out the best geometric pattern, if you like, to fire the ball at to make the structure fall down completely. It's simplistic and yet pretty fun at the same time. The idea is to do it in as few balls as possible, but as long as the entire structure comes down and you don't overshoot because you're a moron, you'll be fine. It really is that simple. Now, I do have a few issues with it. Namely, the fire button is incredibly sort of sensitive to the mouse. I was playing on a different level earlier and I actually double shot and wasted one of my balls, which wasn't my intention. Obviously I didn't mean to do that, so it is worth bearing in mind that you've got to be a bit careful with when you fire and release, because otherwise problems will occur. The other issue is later on you get a fireball, and the idea of the fireball is that it burns whatever it lands on, and it's an important thing because it's not a case of burns on whatever it touches, which is what you'd expect from a fireball. It's literally whatever it lands on, and making a fireball land on the right thing to make it burn away and delete the item and beat the structure is a lot easier said than done. But that's where the game's skill comes in, I guess. Overall, the structures do get a lot more difficult as you go on, and it's nice to see. Obviously, you don't want to be going for these big structures in the middle because you're really not going to move them with your cannonballs. And it's surprisingly difficult. It doesn't really work as the physics you would expect. If you knock a cannonball at something, you would expect it to pretty much take it down straight away. That is not the case with this. That is not really how it works at all. There you go. 5 balls, put everything down. Let's go. And that's how you get a 5 star. So the more pieces of things that you knock down, the higher your score level. So this is the one that was on about with the fireball. So if I aim for up here, I'm going to try and get it so it lands. Like, see how it lights up the area, but then the second it falls off, no fire. It would be better, and certainly better visually speaking, if it just sets things to a light that it hits. Obviously that is a lot more difficult than, said to do, and it certainly reduces the skill level or the difficulty factor of how this would play. The problem is that it does appear that the fireballs are actually weaker than the normal cannonballs and don't actually work unless they do set fire to something, which is a problem because it makes the level nigh on impossible to do. It very much makes it very difficult to get it to land how you would want it to land normally. However, if you do get a shot that works, it works rather well. So we got half the structure finished there, but this is the game. You go through and it's basically, it's got its own best way. You've got a puzzle that you've got to beat, and you've got a very specific way in which you can do that to get like the maximum sort of points out of it. But there you have. This is Collapsed. It's fun. It's something that I can see would get a lot of people very interested very early on. How unique the game gets from here on out, considering you've only got the 3 ball types, and how difficult the structures actually are to get to work the way that you would want them to work, I can't possibly say. But obviously now that we've taken the end structure off, if you go too hard, you're not going to do it, and it's going to fail. There you are. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Let me know if this is a game that you could get into. It's Collapsed. It's very simple in its premise. I think it's more difficult than it needs to be with the way that the balls interact, but outside of that, it's not a bad game. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.